Alright, welcome back to, I believe it's the Silver League in the T90 Titans League 2. We've got Biry on Lithuanians in the orange trunks. His opponent today, Kellar in silver trunks, playing as the Chinese. I believe we're here today on Arabia. Yep. So, could go either way this one. I think in terms of being either a totally game or an extremely active game. I'm praying for the first because I've got to get out of here soon. I've actually got an AOM tournament to cast straight after this, so I'll go do that once this game's done. But for now, to watch some of Biry's crazy aggressive strategies, probably. He's pulled off some wicked stuff in some of the other games of his I've covered this tournament. Up against Kellar. Well, I think he can play a formidable game himself. So I'll be interested to see what he's got up his sleeve. Spawning as the Chinese with these extra starting villages. So we've got a cavalry civ versus a archer's civ. I'll be interested to see how this matchup pans out today. Players for now, nothing seems to be too out of the ordinary. So Biry, this barracks is a little bit early here. So he's grabbing his last Ibex here, and looks like Kellar onto his second last Ibex here. That's a pretty early barracks, and we are getting some early gold gathering here from Biry. You normally aren't really, even if you are going for archers, you're not really going to worry about your gold gathering until you're going to H2. So is he looking to commit to multiple man-at-arms here, perhaps? Because I think you normally only need well, I think if you only want to go with 2 man-at-arms, I don't think you need to gather any extra gold. It's just getting that early food. So is he going to be committing to multiple militia, take man-at-arms upgrade, and then transition to bows behind this, perhaps? It's a big commitment to be going to the barracks this early, and yeah, especially considering he's bringing villagers forward, and he's got 4 villagers on the gold. He definitely wants to follow up with going for a 3rd militia with multiple militia, man-at-arms upgrade, and probably get bowmen, considering he's going so heavily on that gold. 3 on the gold now. Oh yeah, 4th there because he's just building. So Kellar would just seen that militia, be thinking, what the hell is he doing? Barracks for Kellar, finishing up. He's going to get a very forward range here. Kellar going to get the stables, and it looks to be part of his wall off here, I guess. So man-at-arms upgrade kicking in for Biry. This is very early, this push from him. Kellar's walled up around that top side gold. So you can just... He would have seen one of the militia, seen the barracks back at home. Here we go, he's seen the man-at-arms now, so... And he hasn't seen that range just yet. Thinking, what is he up to? We'll try and quick build through this. He's just trying to defend for the moment, as well as get his farms out. Interesting seeing how he's trying to respond to this, because it doesn't look like there's too much damage being dealt by Biry, but at the same time, he's also preparing to prevent any sort of wall off here from Kellar. Now he's seen the whole force, and he can see there's some villagers in the midst of it too. So Kellar will be wanting to prevent them from trying to throw up an early tower at all here. See what Biry's probably going to try and do. If he can get the villagers over here and he towers here, he can make it very difficult to get this gold, cut off this wood line, and prevent the use of these farms. Very, very impactful if he can get there. It's uncomfortable for Kellar. He's having to build buildings with multiple villages that he doesn't normally do in this situation, or that he wouldn't probably prefer to do in this situation. Do a lot of extra building here. He's going to lose a house, and these villagers dropping a little bit of health, but not really losing anything for it. There is, you know, a range coming down now for Kellar, so he can start interrupting this army from afar as well. Continuing his wall off. Because bearing in mind, back at home, Biry, he's actually down by a couple of villages. Committed a lot to this little army. I think he's actually had to cut village production at times here. I don't think he's actually been harassed at all at home. And he's down by 6 villages at the moment. And he hasn't lost either of the villages he's brought over here too, so... He's trailing on Vilpop by a lot more than he probably should be in this situation, Biry. Yet, at the same time, with this extra military out in the field, he's definitely posing a threat to Kellar. Kellar getting ranged upgrades. Biry just adding, you know, archers and villagers. Biry picking off a couple of units there. But yeah, he's down by 6 villages at this point. His economy a bit smaller than his opponents, and he's had 2 villages not gathering this whole time, and there's another thing. But this is a big army for Biry, and Kellar's going to need to try and protect this really well. He's got a good army of skirmishers who do trade really, really well against archers, but at the same time, he's got to be careful because I think he's still outnumbered, so... And the man-at-arms can absorb a lot of skirmisher fire. Stables incoming for Biry as well. Kellar getting another range. So Kellar going to focus down the man-at-arms. He's going to try and wall himself in here. The last man-at-arms might be a bit of a pain for a villager, but he should be able to fight him one-on-one with microed, which will be the case. Biry continuing to keep the pressure up, and he's walled himself in this little cocoon here. Kellar's not going to be able to harass him at all. Castle Age on the way now for Biry. Kellar be looking to take his soon as well, because I mean he's up to about 42 vils, so I think he might get maybe 2 more vils and then go castle. Because at sort of 40 to 45 vil mark, you really don't want to be any higher than 45 vils when casting, but you don't really want to be any lower than about 40 vils unless you happen to lose some early or you happen to just not produce them early. So I think 41 to 44 is probably, you know, ideal Castle Age territory. What seems to be the way people are playing it at the moment. Obviously it might depend slightly based on how the game's going, but yeah, it really seems to sort of be the optimal area. For whatever reason, I think Biry, I didn't see him actually lose any villages early on. All of his villages are full health except for one, which would have been from hunting the boar, so I think he must have just either been housed or skipped villager cycles, or used it to try and get the spearmen out early on then. Because now Kellar tempted to try and stonewall himself in here. Crossbow upgrade for Biry, but bearing in mind there is a lot of skirmishes here for Kellar. But bearing in mind the crossbowmen do outrange them now, whereas the archers were on even ground with them for range. Biry going for a forward workshop here. He wants to go for either a mangonel or for some scorpions, try and pressure that range ball even more than he already is able to, because Kellar's going to be getting Castle Age very shortly, and so he'll be able to get crossbow, or he'll be able to get the elite skirmisher upgrade. So in either case, he'll be on even footing in terms of the range with the crossbows. Should be able to intercept this somewhat before Biry actually manages to break through here. So Biry's gone for a ram actually, which is an interesting choice, and it's going to take a while for a bunch of skirmishers to take this out. They can poke and prod at the rest of the army. Biry's still back at home, just in that little cocoon. He's not even gathering with these guys. If he had them on the wood, he'd be able to afford the farms. But for the time being, he's got a couple of idlers. Well, he's just trying to keep the pressure up here. Oh, and that's some really nice splash on the Scorpion. So it actually penetrates groups of units. It's dealing a lot of damage to that crossbowman ball of Kellar's there. Biry taking out the market now. But he's not going to be able to get too much further forward. There is a little gap there, but at the same time, he's now in range of all the ranged units, just straight behind the archery ranges. Here we go. So Biry's now got the workers all back to work on the wood line, so he can actually start boosting his farm count up behind this as well. What's his resources even looking like at this point? Yeah, he is starting to bank a little bit of wood, so he can probably do that, get a couple more on the farms, add a few more knights. Managed to get some of the relics. I think Sanctity's the health upgrade. Either health or movement speed. Yeah, health. So a lot of pressure here from Biry, and Kellar's struggling to get this gold. He has got access to this gold mine over at the top side. So he is going to throw up his second town center over there. Well, now the Ram really starting to make a bit of a punch here. Villager, oh, garrisoned just in time there by Biry as well. Really smooth. Going to snatch up another relic behind this. Biry actually managing to produce villagers behind all this. So he's remembering to macro. He's sniping a couple of villagers with these mangonels. That was a nice garrison there by Kellar. Biry isn't going to overextend with the mangonels, I don't think. Kellar might even be best off just having the villagers evacuate for now. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe he was right keeping them in there. Just got a few idlers, but I don't... Oh yeah, he's got a couple of farm idlers once again. Run out of food. So he's really struggling to get the eco behind the push right. It's housed again as well. But at the same time, he's just dealing so much damage and applying a lot of pressure to Kellar at the moment. He's up by 8 villages because he's now got that second town center, but he needs this army to hold drastically. One villager, don't know what she was trying to do there. The monk nearly picked off. Close, but no cigar, and now he's going to get healed up. Villager going to repair the mangonel. Doesn't get a kill, but it manages to kill the farm. All these houses that are part of the quick wall being destroyed here as well. Kellar's got plenty of houses though, and he's going to start adding some more production. Oh, but that's a nice hit from the mangonel. And another. And Kellar taps out there.